a bamboo stick and bamboo and make different pieces and wrap these with different colorful paper. And I have written here some words, and this is very important for learning vocabulary actually. For example, we can write here names of fruits, vegetable, trees, domestic animal, and so on. And the way they play with these stones, the children can play with these bamboo sticks. Wins the game here. So children don't know they are learning the name of animal or fruits or vegetable, but actually they are learning. This is what I won't share with you. It means simply we can transfer some game into some playing with no learning to playing with learning games. And there are some more examples. For example, children used to play in riversides, but I made this piece from these cartoon papers. These are also the waste materials, and instead of playing with these stones and insects somewhere in the stream or rivers, children can play with these fish. They can arrange fish. Okay, here they have learned the name of months, name of days. In similar way, they can learn different parts of body and so on also. Now, in this way, I have replaced carom board by this Kakhara Challi. And here, instead of playing on carom board, they can play on these numbers and alphabets, and they can arrange this number. They can identify the alphabets. They can even write words also, and they can arrange different these letters and make words in this board. And this is also made out of carton paper. This is not so expensive. So in this way, they have prepared lots of these materials. Since we do not have much time, I'm just wrapping up. Now there are many these learning these materials. And the finding is very short. Children are still playing, but playing with learning practically. They are highly motivated and interested in learning. They think as if they are playing, not learning, but actually they are learning with pleasure and fun activities. That's all in short. If you have any queries, I will be happy at the end, I think.
Okay. Thank you, Janak Singh Negi, for the wonderful concept of the Bandakudi. I think it is very effective for the teacher research in the difficult circumstances. Thank you very much again. I want to add one more information for you. All the presenters, please, we are providing you just 5 minutes to present your teacher research here. So after finishing all the presentation from the group A, we will have a short discussion regarding the presentation. That's why manage your time accordingly. So without any delay, I want to invite another researcher to present his research. Mr. Ramji Acharya is going to present his research or his reflection regarding teacher research entitled Multilingual Creativity. Mr. Ramji, are you here? Okay, we are accepting your presentation up to the 7 minutes. So please try to manage your presentation within the time.
Yeah, am I audible, sir?
Sure, sir. Go on, please.
Thank you. I don't know what is happening with my presentation. It is blinking. Is it okay, sir, there?
Fine, sir. Fine.
Thank you so much, Bhim, sir. And I'm here to present my experience of my teaching. Actually, this is not this is not a research. However, it is a project for language teaching, and it can be taken as a action research. When I feel some problem while teaching, I design a project, and it is somehow project-based teaching for language teaching. And this is all about multilingual motifs. The word itself gives something about multilingualism and indigeneity in language teaching. And I will be talking about these things in detail. I don't take more than 7 minutes, probably. The problem, what I faced before I designed this project is like students' anxiety for creative writing. Whenever we ask a student to write something, we just ask a question and told them to write a paragraph, essay, story. And what they do, they always write the story that they have been hearing since they are in nursery, and sometimes they write the story. I will be going through the titles, what they do. And this is their end idea. What to do, what need to do, what to write and how to start. The major problem I also faced that when I was learning in higher study like +2 and bachelor, I always struggled to start writing, and it was somehow the autoethnographic sharing as well. And another problem is culture, society, family, mother tongues. They are the real influencing variables for students. They are really influencing variables. However, while writing, the student, they forget everything, and they are forced to forget everything, and they need to write in English, story in English, very huge job. And English language, this is the first language for writing in schools level, especially for English language teaching. I don't mean that we need to ignore importance of English language. However, how the culture and these variables can be used as resource for English language writing skill. And the indigenous concepts are ignored while writing a story, as they are writing all the story, whatever they read. They mostly copy from the story they have heard or read somewhere. This is what I faced before I designed this project. The next, when I asked students to write a story, mostly I found these titles in many cases, even in exam, even in informal story sharing. Always the students share thirsty crow. Once there was a crow searching for water, something else, hare and tortoise, race between tortoise and hare, and lion and rabbit, fox and grapes, Akbar and Birbal. These are the most popular stories. Why they are most popular? Why there are no new stories in context of Nepalese language teaching, language classes? Why there are no new stories? Always they are repeated. This is what are my striking points for my project. So I tried something different with different motives. And the purpose of my study was to enable the students' English writing skills. Whatever I taught, the major task is to enable the student for writing, for English language. As an English language teacher, I need to focus on writing skill of English language. However, I need to include the available resources which are very, very crucial for students' understanding, students' creativity, and the multilingual concepts, culture in writing. It's very amazing and very exciting points to share, but I couldn't cover everything. Culture in writing, it's amazing point I got while doing my research or doing my project. And interaction with parents and society while writing. Oh my God, it's very huge term for the student. They are so excited. They were so excited while doing these activities. Group discussion, critical reflection, and I already told you that culture, society, family and mother tongues are resource for their writing, not the stories those they have been reading in books and they are listening from the elders. They are not the resource, but these are the things for writing resource in my project. And what I did, I have taken only the titles here. I orient student to use multiple languages, multiple cultural activities that they have been doing in their society. And during the orientation, they were free to use whatever the language is. The language they use at home, society, and the concept was to enable students' creativity from the different concept, story concept. And group division, group division, group discussion for issue selection. They select their issue themselves rather going through the prescribed title. They raise their own issue, and listening to the possible issues. That means listing the possible issues. They list multiple issues prevailing in their society, which can be made a title of the story. And again, group discussion for the issues and friends suggestion. They list the issue, and they share with their friends, and they collect suggestion and feedbacks from their friends. And writing first draft, and this is the process. Now the process is started. Before we give writing something, we need to do some preliminary tasks. Whatever you say, we need to give some certain background so that they can do better. And the next, these are some findings while doing these things. I can't go in detail about the activity because it has a long process. I took almost 19 classes for this project, and mostly cultural stories. The stories were mostly culture-related story. They brought their culture like Saradha and like very traditional food items and pots and other utensils in their stories. And Nepali proverbs are used contextually. Like I can still remember one story of one of my students, right? पैसा भएपछि महादेवको तीन नेत्र खुल्छन्. Like the proverb has no meaning in English, or even if it has meaning, but the student couldn't use the exact sentence in English, so that the student write in Nepali and including Nepali sentence in English story. So it made a very amazing sound to live sound to the story. And comparatively poor performing students remain active throughout the project because they were free to use any language. So they are very active while sharing their stories. And students' interaction with parents and culture about mother tongue, like the project enables students to collaborate with parents and sharing. And wonderful code mixing and code switching while writing. They use multiple languages in story, and freedom in writing. Multilingual stories are there, and inside the story there are multilingual sentences can be found. And I'm going to wrap up. The students express the message through the pictures sometimes. If they were free to draw the pictures even, because there are some concepts which may not be expressed through the linguistic phenomena or language functions. So students present their feelings through the pictures, so that it is more multilingual and expressive or live stories. And students involve themselves little research, like they investigate about their culture, they investigate about their mother tongue, family language, society, and other things. And these things can be applied in class. How it affects in classroom teaching are these. Just I have used regular teaching classes, no more than that. Just regular duty. I don't take any other research oriented activities and classes for this. And but no need to go through many theory-driven creative or other activities for this research. And more interactive, collaborative, and motivating classes, because they were free to talk about their culture, society, and but as a teacher, we need to be very conscious about controlling them. We need to control them within the given framework for discussion. And equal opportunities for all the students. They were divided in different groups and they were free to discuss. So everyone got chance to share about their experiences. And learner autonomy and learning ownership. Mostly, this is very important point I found while doing this project. They wrote their story, and while they are sharing with others, they feel like very happy to share their story because it was their own product and it is related to their emotional attachment. Culturally, it is attached. So it is very, very wonderful project. While doing, I felt very happy to run. And another thing, so while doing this, I just took many classes. However, later I feel very easy to give other tasks related to creative writing, and the student can create their own perception on given topic. That's all. Thank you so much. If anything, I will be talking about these things later. Thank you, Bhim sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramji Acharya, for the wonderful presentation on multilingual creativity. I think without multilingual creativity, it's not possible to teach at the present era. Thank you very much again. So I want to inform you all that we are recording your presentation and your reflection, your sharing session. So if you have anything about the recording, we would like to hear your permission, your words in the chat box. So without any delay, within the same time frame, I would like to invite Mr. Chetraj Joshi to present his action research or research on increasing student participation in teaching speaking. Mr. Joshi, over to you. Yes. Are you getting me, Mr. Joshi?
Yeah, I am
Okay.
listening.
Okay, over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Go on. It's visible.
Okay, thank you. Namaste, everyone. Today I am delighted to share my exploratory action research EAR that I conducted in class 6 to increase the participation of students in speaking activities. There were 31 students in my class, and hardly 4 to 5 students took part in speaking activities, while the majority of students remained silent. It was a critical issue for me, so I planned to explore it. To make my issue researchable, I had broken down my issue into two major questions. The first one is, why do most of the students remain silent? And the second one is, how can I engage my students in speaking? Then I started to explore my issue based on my exploratory questions. I observed and note down, and I observed and note down behaviors and activities of students in my daily journals for 20 days. I also started to write a note of reflection after my class. I asked my colleague to observe my class for 3 days. I prepared a simple set of questionnaires for the survey and collected the responses of students. I also interviewed them individually. What I my major findings were the majority of students did not take part in speaking activities because they thought that they did not know enough grammar, words, and pronunciation. Fear of making mistakes and being teased on mistakes by their by being teased on mistakes by their peers were also the causes of remaining silent. It was also found that my activities of teaching were not interesting, and many students said that they felt bored during speaking activities. After analyzing the findings, I started reading books on speaking and searched on the internet. I read a book by A.J. Hook where he talked about many stories for teaching speaking. Then I thought it might be good to teach my students with the help of mini stories. Then I designed funny and comprehensible short stories. Stories were based on the objectives of the curriculum and the interest of my students. I tried to make stories as funny as possible. Each statement of the story was followed by a number of short and simple questions so that students got more repetition on a single linguistic item. I always encourage my students for listening and answering during storytelling. Let me show a sample of how I taught. This was a mini story that I used to teach WH question. and I never revealed the story in beginning. Rather, I asked the story in the time of teaching. I started my speaking class by saying, "This is the time of mini story. Are you ready for it?" After getting yes response from students, I again said, "Listen and answer. Guess and answer." Answering is very important. As an example, I said, "Arjun bought a new bicycle." Then I asked a number of questions like, "Did Arjun buy a new bicycle?" Then I paused for a while and gave the time for answering. Then I again answered myself by saying, "Yes, he did. He bought a new bicycle." So that my students corrected their mistake if they had. I also asked unknown questions that they did not that they did that is not existed in the previous statement. As an example, did Arjun buy an expensive bicycle? Now students have to guess and answer. It's an amazing moment actually, since students were telling lots of new answers. If I like the silly responses of the students, I picked that up and added in our story. In this way, I taught speaking for 2 months. During ministry, I found that students were yelling the answers. Students were engaged in such a way. They engaged in playing outdoor games. I was very happy to see their involvement in story construction. Now, my final concluding points of this presentation: linguistic item, including speaking, can be acquired and taught easily and effectively with mini stories. The application of mini stories for teaching and learning is a powerful way in low resource classroom settings. AR helps us to make and select context-based teaching methods. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chetraj Joshi, for your wonderful sharing regarding student participation in teaching speaking skill in ALT classes. I think your technique will be beneficial to all the teacher educator, home and abroad. By continuing this session, I would like to invite Kwaratul Ayan to present his research. I think, I don't know his or her, to present teacher, learner and seeker. So without any delay, I would like to invite her. Over to you, Ayan.
No, this is actually my mistake. Am I audible?
Okay, you are audible. Go on, please.
Yeah, this is actually my mistake not to claim my pronouns.
Sorry.
So I'm going to be very brief, and I am just going to address the 3 questions that perhaps you're seeing on the screen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon from Dhaka. My name is Kuratul Ayan, and I'm an action researcher from Ambedkar University, Delhi. I'm continuing my 2-year-long MPhil in development practice, and we, the student of Center for Development Practice, attend almost a year-long immersion in rural Paschim Midnapur district, West Bengal, and it has 105 families. The people of the village described it as an Adivasi or tribal village. Language, be it verbal or non-verbal, is an essential part of immersion as it helps to understand the subjectivity beyond the subject. The time when I was in the village was after Makar Sankranti, which is an yearly festive, and my host Dada and Didi were always available at home. The nearby primary government school was my rescue from many embarrassment happening due to my poor skill of communication in Santali language. The school communicated in Bengali or English. The